Hey, you guys. So we are on day 10 of our Strong in 75. I told you guys that I already put together, let me list this up. I already put together our thing. So now when you guys go to Strong in 75, you guys will be able to now see the actual links for the free dispute letter. Everything would basically be more organized there, okay? So if you go to strongest75.com, everything was going to be so organized there. So now you could be able to get the workbook. I dropped it down to the $17. It is a promotion right now where you guys can download the PDF. I also added a lot of links directly to the website, so definitely go and check it out. We finished up our disputes today now. Well, we're more than halfway done now. We're 66% there because we were doing a third every day. Now, I did not realize how many negative accounts this person had on their credit reports. I thought it was just 19. It's way more than 19, but it's all right. The goal is just to get it done. And I like it because I can tell you guys different errors that you can find on your credit reports and different things that you can put down to tell the credit bureaus to fix it. So I'm happy about that. Now, today, I didn't really want to answer questions because yesterday we did a lot of questions that just can go over all the credit bureaus. Today, I really want to just talk about 30 different things that you guys can look for in terms of errors that you guys can see on your credit reports. Okay, bear with me. I am kind of a little bit late doing this, but I want to get this stuff done. So definitely bear with me, okay? So the first thing is I want you guys to see if you guys see incorrect account balance. So sometimes you'll see that the balance is different on the three different credit bureaus. So you'll see that each bureau is reporting a different balance for the same account. So that is an error that you guys can see right away. But you guys can also see just an incorrect balance in general. Like say if they say you owe $500, you know the account is paid off. That's just the error in general. So when you guys are doing your disputes, kind of start thinking about these counts. Is the account balance correct on this? So the balance reported does not match the actual balance, or maybe it's just outdated. Like I said, you could have paid this account off. It could have been sold to a collection company, and the original creditor is still reporting it as a balance instead of a zero balance. It could have been included in bankruptcy too, but they never, it was including your bankruptcy, and the bankruptcy was discharged, but they still say you owe money. That's a big problem. So just make sure you guys check that balance. The next thing is the wrong date open. Now, when we was doing our disputes, I'm pretty sure you guys will remember how all three credit bureaus sometimes did not match with the date open. That's a huge problem. So double check the date open to see if it's different on all three credit bureaus. And it don't necessarily have to be different on all three credit bureaus. The date open could just be wrong by itself. Like whatever you're reporting is wrong. Okay, so double check that the account date open is wrong. It's affecting the age of the credit basically. So you want to make sure that they have the correct date open on there. Also, incorrect late payment date. So the late payment date is missing, inaccurate, or outdated. As you all seen, we see a collection with payment history. Collections are not supposed to have any payment history. I showed you guys a lot of debts on there that had incomplete, meaning that it was months where they didn't have any type of payment history at all. So that was incomplete data. And we also seen some inaccurate data where some months they were saying 30 days late, and then for them was 1 month saying 30 days late. But when you look on all three credit bureaus, they said 30 days, but the other ones will say 90 days. It's like, what was I, 30 days late or 90 days late? So that's something where you guys can be able to see like the inaccuracies and the payment histories. So I don't know if I went on to incorrect late payment date and I actually combined it with the inconsistent or missing payment history. We saw that TransUnion, for one thing that they were reporting, they didn't have any payment history reporting at all. So these accounts need to be 100% accurate and 100% complete. If it's not 100% accurate and 100% complete, then that's what we're putting on our letter, all of the errors that we see. So if you see that it's a month where they're not reporting correct payment history, then we need to call them out on that. Don't feel no type of way. I told you guys, like when I do my main disputes, I'm writing about a paragraph or maybe even two paragraphs for each account. I told you guys you don't need all of that. You don't need all of that. You just need to be able to point out errors. And when you point out these errors, as long as it is a bona fide error that they were supposed to fix, then you can win, okay? But I do suggest that you guys point out all of the errors. I point out all of the errors. If I'm going to talk about the payment history, I'm going to talk about everything that's wrong in the payment history. I'm not talking about one, two, or three things. I'm talking about everything, okay? But we're just doing our first dispute. You guys can be more you guys can add even more stuff to the second dispute. I just suggest that we do enough so that we can point out errors and that we can go ahead and send in our disputes. I don't want it to get to the point where you guys are not sending in disputes because you're trying to make it too perfect. Okay, it could just be one thing or one line. And you guys start seeing too, as I kept doing the dispute letters, then I kept adding more stuff. I'm like, we gotta add more to this. Because I just kept feeling like we need to add more, we need to add more. But if you guys don't know what I'm talking about too, every day we're going in and I'm making a live video where I'm actually showing my screen. I'm only coming here to answer questions doing this live. That's it. I'm just doing it on TikTok. I kind of want to build my follow up on TikTok. I would have went live on YouTube or Facebook to have more viewers, but I said, you know what? Let me go live on TikTok so that I can start, building up this platform. Okay, but what I do go live on Facebook and on YouTube about is me actually sharing my screen so y'all can see exactly what I'm talking about. So we already do that. You guys can search Rickita on YouTube and you guys will be able to see it. Now, also, if you guys go to the Strongest 75, I added the playlist there. So you guys will be able to see all of the videos that I did Strongest 75. So you guys will be like, okay, we on day 10. Let me go down the playlist and then I can go to day 10 and then you guys will see everything that I did. So definitely we want to make sure that we have everything there, but don't think that you have to have everything there. I would like for you to do it, but the goal is just to get the dispute letters out. Now, duplicate accounts. So the same account is reported multiple times. It's inflating the debt and misrepresenting your payment history. This is the same thing that I had with my collection company. Not only did they put the debt on my credit reports to me without even validating the debt, I don't even know the debt was real. It just came out of nowhere. But then you put it on there twice on the same bureau with different account numbers. So you guys have to be able to find stuff like that. Find an error as to why the account should be off your credit reports. Remember, the goal is that these accounts are inaccurate and they're not 100% complete. They need to be deleted from your credit reports, and we need to know the reason why they're supposed to be off. So if you guys see a duplicate account, then you guys definitely need to make sure you call them out on the account being duplicate. And you don't necessarily have to call them out all the time, too. It would be best if you were to call them out. But the point that you're disputing that account saying that something is not right, they should be able in their system to say, oh, man, we got this account on there twice. They got to be able to catch that error too. That's what their job is. They're the one talking about you. It ain't your job to say you saying all this stuff about me. It's your job to say, hey, you got this account on here. What's going on with it? And they supposed to check to make sure it's good. And they have the right to keep it up there, okay? So those are our first 5 that I want you guys to look at. I want to make sure I give you a sip of water in between because I'm talking all day. I didn't realize how much doing all these videos just drained me. It just drained me. Recording all these videos, and then the kids are out, but then they about to be out for the summer, so I need to suck it up, Buttercup, huh? So we're almost at 9 minutes now. We have 0.33 miles. So yeah, we're hitting our 9 minutes right now. And let me see how many steps we're at so far. We're at 868 steps. Okay, perfect. Let's get this cracking. Let's finish our question. Not our questions. Let's finish the errors. Let's find all the errors. Okay, number 6. You guys can see that you guys have incorrect account statuses sometimes. Accounts showing as open when they're closed or vice versa. Sometimes you're going to see that account say that it's open. Y'all see that today with the collection. So with that one of the collections is with portfolio recovery. They said the account was open. It's a collection. This account ain't open. That should say closed. So that's the error that we need to say, hey, this account should not be listed as open. It's a collection account. It should be listed as closed. And the same thing, maybe an account says closed, but it should, well, excuse me, it should be listed as open. So it's vice versa. That's something that you guys should be looking for. And if you see the problem, add it to the dispute letter. Okay. 7, unverified negative accounts. So collections or charge-offs that can't be verified with documentation. If you guys find that a collection come on your credit report out of nowhere, I mean, you ain't get a call from this company, you ain't get a letter from them or nothing. It's just on your credit reports. Then at that point, then you guys have to make sure that you guys tell them that they should not have put that account on your credit reports at all, because they're required to reach out to you, give you 30 days to at least see what's going on with the account before they add it to your credit reports. And then they need to send you the proper validation. If you ask for it in time, they need to send you the proper validation before they even add it onto your credit reports, okay? So you guys have to make sure that these accounts are verified and they sending you documentation. We're going to go deeper into this. And that free dispute letter that you guys are getting, it's actually a package of letters. You're getting a debt validation letter that you guys can send out to the collection company, and you are also getting a free inquiry removal letter in there. So just go to strongest75.com. You'll see the free dispute letter. Just get that package. It got all the stuff in there. And so the free inquiry letter and then a letter for the bankruptcy courts. Okay. So we're going to definitely get into the unverified negative accounts, like the collections being added to your credit reports that weren't verified. And then also unverified too can be next month. Saying, hey, okay, you said that these accounts are verified. Show me all of the documents. That's what we're going to tell them next month. When we send out these letters, we're going to just see what's going to get deleted. We're going to see who going to fight us, who not going to fight us. And then we're going to fight with the ones that's still on there and ask them, okay, if you're going to keep this on my credit report, show me how this account is 100% accurate and show me all the documents. Show me all the verification. Show me the validation of this debt. So we're going to get into that more on our next round of letters, because we're going to actually send a letter to the collection company, to the original creditor. So we're going to get into that next month. We're going to have a lot of letters to send out next month. Actually, it's going to be July, probably at this point, looking at our time, because we're at the end of May right now. So next one is incorrect credit limit. So the credit limits reported incorrectly, maybe lowering your credit utilization ratio. So if you guys see that the credit limit is different on all 3 credit bureaus, I think that we saw something like that. But like Equifax maybe have a different credit limit than what the other 2 are reporting. That's the reason to dispute the account and put that on your dispute letter. So all these things I'm naming out, if you see this problem, when we was typing up reasons why the account's supposed to get deleted, all the date open is different. If you see that the credit limit is incorrect, put just like that, the credit limit is incorrect on the account. Okay, and then at the end, I'm going to actually go through all of these and tell you a complete sentence that you can actually write to actually dispute these different things, okay? But definitely look at the credit limits and compare all 3 credit bureaus. Sometimes you'll see that it's incomplete, meaning that they say it's $0, but you know there was a credit card that had a credit limit or have a credit limit, and it should be something there. So definitely you want to make sure that you check the credit limits. And that goes more into number 9, which is missing credit limit. So no credit limit is shown. So this is going to mess up your utilization calculations. Remember, my biggest thing is utilization at this point. So when it comes down to utilization, I need my credit limits to be reported, and I need them to be reporting high. I don't need any mishaps or anything like that where there's going to be reporting lower or it's missing. Because if I find stuff like that, it's going to mess up my utilization numbers, and I don't have time for that. I need it to be reporting correctly. So if you guys see that you have missing credit limits, put that on your dispute letter. Number 10, incorrectly reported collections. Collection accounts that were paid or settled are still showing open or unpaid. That means they're just trying to get some more money up out of you. Like, come on now, this supposed to be closed. It's supposed to be paid, or maybe you paid the original creditor and the collection company's still coming after you. They haven't updated their system, or maybe they haven't updated the balance, which is another thing. I looked at a lawsuit where the people paid $100 to the original creditor, and since they paid $100 to the original creditor, the original creditor never told the collection company, so the collection company kept giving them that same balance with an extra $100 added on. And that's going to be a violation because that balance should be a lot lower because you paid $100. So that's something that you guys should be looking at. And if the account was, the collection was paid, they need to actually say paid, and they need to have $0 on there. But a lot of times too, when you guys pay collections, I told you guys that I love portfolio recovery because they had a thing where if you paid a collection, it's like something in their system where they automatically delete the account. Sometimes when you pay some of these collections, it's going to be so hard to get these collections removed from your credit reports because now you have a re-aged account. So they're going to update your last date activity. They're going to make sure everything is lined up, which can be a huge problem in terms of trying to get the account removed from your credit reports. But I'm pretty sure you can still find an error in there, but it's going to be harder to find an error when it comes down to having paid accounts. But definitely make sure that you guys check to see if there's any collections that you once paid or settled and they never updated that on the credit bureaus. So that is number 10. Okay, so we 1,500 steps in, we 0.6 miles, and we're 16 minutes in. Okay, we're 1/3 of the way there. That's good. I am just not here with my walking today. I feel like I'm on autopilot or something, but everything is just lining up. I hope that you guys are just staying focused. It may be one of them tough days or whatnot where we just got to get stuff done. We can't be in our feelings or our emotions or anything. Like we just got to be on autopilot, do what we got to do. Did we drink our water? I'm going to make me some tea after I do this. And I'm going to call it a day, okay? As y'all can see, I planned on doing my hair, but I was just like, I'm over it. I did do my nails and did my toes. So I was like, okay, I did that. Took me a nice bath. I was happy with chilling and doing all of that stuff. But I was like, I just need to relax today. I just want to chill today. So that's what I'm about to do. I did wake up very, very early this morning. My sleep schedule is completely off. But I did wake up early this morning. As you guys can see, I updated the Strong in 75 because I wanted to make it easier for everyone. I just know this right here is just gold. If y'all really pay attention, this stuff is really gold for those people that really need it. Okay, y'all, let's get into it. Our next 5 questions, our next 5 errors. So paid collections not updated. So paid or settled collections are not marked as such. To me, that's kind of like incorrectly reported collections. If collection was settled and they are still no, you know what? It's the collection is open and it's paid and it's still showing as open. And don't forget them collections to say closed anyway, or they not necessarily should they say closed, but usually you'll see like a collection on there. All of them say the same thing. I was showing you guys in the video like the comparisons on how they're reporting. So you guys should be able to see a lot there. I cannot wait until I learn more in terms of I want to get with some of these attorneys that's really finding certain type of errors. And I mean not identity theft, not merged account, not mixed account, but I mean they finding the smallest of errors on the credit report. So I want to get down to the nitty-gritty with that. But there's still a lot. 30 of them, you're going to catch them with something wrong. But yeah, the account is paid or settled, but they're reporting it as unpaid. That's what the number 10 was. And so that's what that is. Okay, so number 12, inaccurate high balance. So the reported highest balance is incorrect or missing. So the high balance is the highest amount you ever owed on that account. So say if you had $1,000 credit card and you actually at one point of ever having this account, you went over the limit $100. That means your highest balance a lot of times could have been $1,100, or it could have been $1,100 plus whatever your interest was too. So that's what your highest balance is. That's the most you ever owed on your account ever. Okay. So with that, that cannot be incomplete, meaning that it's missing. A credit bureau is not reporting it. So if you see that they're not reporting it, it's a problem. Or it cannot be different on all three credit bureaus. So it's just a way to find an error. And I'm pretty sure that we've seen these things when we did our disputes. And we got one more day of disputes. And what? How many accounts did I say? Oh, we had 38 accounts on there. So we got about 13 accounts, if not 12 accounts, that we have to do disputes for tomorrow. I'm pretty sure we're going to see a lot of these errors on there. So look at that high balance. So incorrectly reported charge off. Accounts marked as charge off, even though payments were made or settlements were arranged. So that means that you already paid your account. Maybe you was late. Maybe you were 30, 60, 90 days late, 120 days late, maybe even 150 days. But they haven't marked that charged off when it shouldn't have been a charged off because you already paid this account or you already settled the account. It should not be marked as a charged off account. Maybe we should only be worried about taking your late payments off, but we should not be worrying about deleting a full account because it's not a charge off. So that can be a huge problem. Accounts reported as late with no history of late payments. A single late payment can appear without accurate delinquency. So when I think about this right here, I'm thinking about the accounts where I have a client where their payment status is listed as 60 days late. But when you look in the payment history, they said every month they've been on time. So where are you saying that this person is 60 days late? Because if they say it was 60 days late, we need to see it in the payment history. So that's something that we should be thinking about. If they say that your current status is 90 days late, we should at least see a 30, 60, 90 days late. Or somebody asked me when I was live, I don't know if that was today or yesterday, because I'm going live twice a day. And then I'm recording a video. I put out a video once a day, no matter what. So I don't know what day it really was. But somebody asked about student loans. They said, hey, why are these student loans that you put on these dispute letters? They just 60 days late. I didn't see a 30. I mean, they're 90 days late. I didn't see a 30 days late, a 60 days late. They went straight to 90 days late. Student loan company, instead of, especially government student loans, they do not report you to the credit bureaus until you're 90 days late. So you can be 30 days late, you can be 60 days late. But once you hit that 90 days late mark, then they're going to report you to the credit bureaus. So make sure that you guys are looking at this. If they're saying that you're in your payment status, that you're 60 days late, you need to see that within the payment history too, because that's a discrepancy there. It just don't accurately show where you are. And with that person that had that payment status at 60 days late, it was hard to get that thing removed because the credit bureaus refused to remove it. But it's like you don't even have it in the payment history. So you need to update this account and remove that status and put it as paid or current. That's what it should say, just current, not late 60 days. Accounts included in bankruptcy but reported as active. Accounts should be marked as included in bankruptcy and with a $0 balance. I talked about that earlier. If you guys had accounts, and this is an easy thing if you guys go through bankruptcy, this is one of the easiest things where you guys can find it. After you guys have your account included in a bankruptcy, they're supposed to say included in bankruptcy. You are supposed to be able to see that there is a $0 balance to it, that debt was discharged. If they do not reflect that it was included in bankruptcy and is a $0 balance, then you guys know that they are violating certain codes within the bankruptcy too. And I'm not a lawyer. I'm not trying to give y'all legal advice. This is something that I just learned. Not only do we got the Fair Credit Reporting Act, but when you guys file bankruptcy, you have certain protections through bankruptcy. So they need to make sure that they update your accounts accordingly to actually having this bankruptcy. So it's other laws that they're breaking. So you want to make sure that they're updating your balance as a $0 balance, and they're marking this account as included in bankruptcy. Sometimes you see that they'll say including in Chapter 13 bankruptcy, including Chapter 7 bankruptcy. You'll see it in the comments, but they have to update it. They have to notate that. Now, this comes into a problem, and I'm not going to talk about this problem right now. Not going to talk about this problem right now. Yeah, I will talk about it later on. I just need to learn how to keep some stuff to myself first. I'll talk about the other problems that can come from that later on when we get into bankruptcies and stuff like that. All right, y'all, we 25 minutes in. So we got 20 more minutes. That's good. We got 15 more questions. That means that I'm actually going slower with my questions, which is good. I got a good sweat going in on my back, which is really good. We're almost at our mile. Okay. Okay, yes, we halfway there with our questions. So, inaccurate payment history. Maybe they got the wrong name for you. Maybe the spelling is not right. They got the wrong social security number, the wrong address, or maybe it's not typed correct, and maybe the wrong employment details. I used to tell people when you definitely wanted to remove the accounts right away, you want to get all this stuff updated because it's going to make it easier to get the accounts deleted from your credit reports. Now that I'm going to school to be a lawyer next year, to be able to litigate for these type of things, errors on the credit reports, that's what I want to be able to do. I have totally different views on this because if you guys were to call Experian and you were to tell them, hey, I see y'all got my name on my credit report 6 different times in 6 different ways, you know, this is not right. They're going to say, oh, these names are attached to your positive accounts. We can't remove it. Well, it's not right. I don't care if it's attached to your accounts. So it's certain things where you're going to be fighting with the credit bureaus for no reason. And when I say no reason, you talking to someone that end up having to settle with the credit bureaus. I remember fighting with the credit bureaus for years about certain accounts. If I knew I just needed to be able to, if I knew that I needed to basically sue them and we're going to be able to really talk, we're going to really be able to talk settlement, and I would get so much better stuff than to keep going back and forth with them, wasting my money on letters. I will always don't play the back and forth game with them. I will come direct, and I will come direct with a lawsuit. So I play it different when it comes down to names and stuff on the credit reports. As long as there's one good name on there, meaning you got my first and last name correct one time, because they're going to probably have your name, especially Experian, have your name on there 15 to 20 times. I'm good with that, okay? Because guess what? If y'all ever messed up, y'all ever slip up, then, you know, we're going to have to go, because it's sad that these companies don't want to fix these things and they know that they have these errors, but nobody is really holding them accountable. I'll just make sure I do the best way that I know is going to get the job done and give me the best terms and the best options, which to me is doing a lawsuit instead of I'm going to send you a dispute letter all year, or I'm going to send you a dispute letter for 3 or 4 years. That just don't get the results that I like. It just don't. So you guys can get this personal information updated. You can call the credit bureaus. You can send them a letter, and you can also a lot of times dispute it online, like your personal information. But again, as long as they got it on there one time, they got it on there correct, I'm going to just leave them alone on that, because I'm worried about some bigger fish. I'm worried about the accounts that's on my credit reports. Those are the things that I'm more concerned about. So old debts beyond the statute of limitations. So accounts that should no longer appear due to the time limit. So as you guys see, on all of our collection accounts, I was trying to show y'all that the last date of activity should be before the day open. And we didn't see that but on one account, and we had so many collections on there. So a lot of these accounts were doing something called being re-aged, meaning that they want to make it so that this account can stay on your credit reports beyond the 7.5 years. Okay, so your accounts will stay on your credit reports for 7.5 years, but they making it so it can stay on there more than the 7.5 years. If you guys were to get sued for a debt that's more than 7.5 years, as long as you answer right away or you bring up asking the judge to remove the account because it's past the statute of limitations, y'all not even gonna be talking about nothing in court. But the thing is, when it comes to our credit reports, when it's beyond the statute of limitation, when they re-age in the debt, a lot of collection companies do this. Most collection companies do this, if you ask me. Um, but the problem with this is there's no way of the credit bureaus really making sure that they're not re-aging the debt. So these accounts gonna stay on our credit reports past the 7.5 years. So they're gonna hurt us for even longer. 7.5 years is a long time, y'all. If y'all think about it, that is a long, long time that account can be on your credit report and the account can affect you. So you guys definitely want to check this. You're gonna see for the collections the last date of activity. And what I know about the last date of activity should be the first day that you became delinquent. So for example, if my car note is due next month or whatever, right? My car note is due next month. The first time that I was supposed to pay my car note and I didn't, that's the first day that I became delinquent. Okay, so that's June of 2025. Okay, the first day you became delinquent or the last time you made a payment, whichever one is soonest. So technically, I already paid my car note for May of 2025, so we won't even include that. So if I was to stop paying my car note starting next month, then that would be my last day of activity. Okay, that was the first day that you became delinquent and you failed to make a payment on your account. That's the time when you actually became late on the account. So if a collection company was to pick up my car note, and I'm just saying it just so we can understand. If a collection company was to pick up my car note, usually they won't necessarily send my account to collections until I'm 180 days late, which is about 6 months. So we already talking June. So about December, that's when they're gonna send it to a collection company. So say if a collection company, since I'm gonna be at that 6 months in December, say if they picked it up January 20 to 26. A lot of times the collection company is gonna put your last date activity as January 2026. But no, my last date activity was actually in June 2025. So now they have moved my date for my 7.5 years all the way up to January, which is re-aging it. You're making it have a new age. No, 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 no. My age should be in June of 2025. I hope you guys understand that. And another thing about this is collection companies sometimes update your last day of activity every single month. So when they update your account saying, hey, ain't nothing happened with it this month, they update the last date activity. So you will see the last time they reported as the last date activity. So that means that that account is going to continue to stay on there because the 7.5 years is going off of your last date activity. But if they keep moving that date up, then they messing it up. Only time they can move that date up is if you make any type of payment on that account. Then they can move that date up. But unless you do that, they supposed to leave that date back at June. But don't forget, the collection company did not pick it up until January 2026. We're talking in the future, right? But what they'll do is they'll go ahead and say, oh, it's January 2026. That's her last day of activity. Then when February come, oh, no, it's February 2026. They'll keep changing and changing and changing it. This is a big problem with all collection companies. So if you can't find something wrong with your collection, I know you got that as a problem. Oh, number 18, re-aging of debt. So old accounts are updated with new last payment dates to keep them active. I just kind of explained that, not kind of, I really explained that very, very well. I'm surprised I was able to even do that. But that's what re-aging your debts is. That's a huge problem, y'all. If y'all can't find anything wrong with your accounts, I know that's going to be a big problem. So mixed or merged files. So another person's account appearing on your credit report. This happened a lot when you have a junior and a senior or a third, somebody else, basically, somebody else stuff on your credit report. You got somebody in your family information on your credit reports. You could just have a random person, their information on your credit reports too. That's a merged account. I'm not sure how this happened, but I know that this is a big deal. And I know that if you guys have this, definitely let me know about it. Because with something like this, you're going to have to get an attorney involved a lot of times. Okay. So if you guys have another person's information on your credit reports, definitely contact me because a lot of times you're going to have to get an attorney involved. And all they see is dollar signs. They're going to love to help you. Okay. And you should be seeing dollar signs too. Okay. Okay. So incorrect payment terms. So the loan terms or the monthly payment amounts are wrong. So you're going to see this a lot with your installment accounts because those are the ones that have terms. So your car loans, maybe your student loans, they'll say like for your car loan, maybe it's actually 60 months. Your terms are supposed to be 60, but they got it listed as 48. They got it listed as 72. If it's 60, it's 60. They can't have it listed as other things. So you guys can see the incorrect payment terms is that, or maybe it's incomplete. Maybe they don't even have it on there at all. That can be a whole nother problem. Okay. So you want to be able to find these different things and have them fix it. All right, y'all. We got 10 more minutes and we got 10 more questions. We're definitely getting through this. 3,400 steps and we have 1.3 miles. I hope y'all drinking y'all water. I need to give me a little, I'm putting me a little table right here. Let me hold this water for right now because it's so light you don't want to push the window anymore. Okay, so let's get through our next 10. And don't forget to, after I do these, I want to tell you what you can say based off of the problem, okay? So incorrect original creditor name. The original creditor name is missing or incorrect. You're going to see that a lot of times with the collection. They don't even have the original creditor on there. But the problem with this is you never had a contract with the collection company. So anytime a collection company come talk to you, you really don't know exactly what's going on with the collection company. You don't know if you really owe that debt. You don't know if they lied. So you want to be able to know who that original creditor is so you can even think, did I ever have an account with this company? So that can be a problem. Duplicate inquiries. The same lender inquiry shows up multiple times, hurting the credit score. I've seen this a lot of times. You apply for one credit card and they hit you with two inquiries, three inquiries. Those are duplicate inquiries and they need to remove it. Fraudulent accounts. So accounts open without your permission. If you see accounts on your credit reports that's not supposed to be there, those can be fraudulent accounts. And you need to work to get those removed. And a lot of times you can say identity theft for those accounts. When you say identity theft, they're supposed to remove those accounts within 5 days of being notified of it. That's the great thing about identity theft, though. A lot of times they're going to say, hey, go get the police report and go do all these different things. I'm not sure on the total rules about do you have to go and do a police report? Are you able to just tell them it's identity theft? But it won't hurt to go get the police report or do a FTC report, okay? And send this to them. And in my credit 101, I think I do have that in Strong and 75. Well, the credit 101, I think is amazing because I made a whole bunch of dispute letters and I talked about all these different things. So if you guys have certain things like this, I talk about it in more details on what to do about it and how to get them accounts removed faster. So if you guys have incorrect mortgage information, maybe it's missing the incorrect details about your mortgage balance or payments. That could be a problem. Misreported student loans. Maybe it's the wrong loan type, the balance, and the payment status. I see that a lot with the student loans. Incorrect settlement terms. So the settlement's marked as unpaid or not reflecting the correct terms. Closed accounts were marked as active. So old credit cards or loans that were closed still showed as open. And this can be a big problem when old credit cards and loans are marked as open because if you guys are trying to get a mortgage, you're going to see that your last date activity could be up. Not your last date activity. You can see that whatever your monthly payment is, they're going to try to include that in your debt to income ratio, meaning they're going to say, hey, you still got these credit cards that technically should be open. Should be closed. You still got all these credit cards open. We're going to have to include that payment so you can't get the mortgage that you thought because you got to include this in your debt to income ratio. So it can hurt you that way. Incorrect account type. So a revolving account reported as an installment and vice versa. Revolving accounts are for collections. Installment accounts, Oh, not collections. Oh my gosh, I'm tripping. Revolving accounts are credit cards. Your installment accounts are those accounts that you pay on monthly. You got a set amount of months you have to pay on it for like student loans, personal loans, your car note, your mortgage. Those are installment accounts. Uh-oh, hopefully I don't fall. Inaccurate account number. So the wrong account number or partial digits, that's a problem. Or you will see with mine, with my LJ Ross account, not only did they have it on all three bureaus, they had it on Equifax twice, but all four reporting an account had totally different account numbers. That's a problem. And then last but not least, incorrect last date activity. So the wrong date reflecting the last date activity on the account, which can change the reporting periods and the time for disputes. So I got into that already with re-aging the accounts with the last date activity. So you guys want to double check that, okay? Let me get a sip. We got less than 5 minutes. I'm going to go through each one of them, and I'm going to tell you how you can word it in one sentence to make sure that you get the account deleted because of whatever the reason is. So let me get my last little sip in. We have 1.5 miles. We have 40 minutes. Okay. Okay, so if you see an inaccurate balance, you can say the balance is inaccurate on all three credit bureaus or on this bureau. Wrong date open. The date on this account is wrong. Incomplete last payment date. The last payment date is missing, inaccurate, or outdated. Inconsistent or missed payment history. The payment history on this account is incorrect. Duplicate account. This is a duplicate account. It's reported on my credit report more than once. Incorrect account status. The status is incorrect. You can literally just put that, y'all. The status is incorrect. Just put that on there. You ain't got to go into all of the details I've been going into. You just literally put that. Let them figure the rest out, okay? Let them figure the rest out. Unverified negative accounts. So collection accounts are unverifiable. We've seen that on our basic dispute letter. We have unverifiable in there. Incorrect credit limits. The credit limit is incorrect. Missing credit limit. The credit limit is incomplete. Incorrectly reported collections. So it's showing that they were paid. The accounts were paid, but they're still showing open. These collections payment history is reported incorrectly. The paid collection is not showing. This collection is paid, and it should be reported accurately or deleted from my credit report. Inaccurate high balance. The high balance on this account is inaccurate. Incorrectly reported charge off. So the account's marked as a charge off, even though the payments were made or a settlement. This account is not a charge off. Oh, it's reported accurately. It should be deleted from my credit reports. The account's reported as late with no history of late payments. A single late payment can appear without actual delinquency. So you can say the late payment on this account is inaccurate or incomplete. Accounts are including bankruptcy, but they listed as accurate. I would not say the account was listed in bankruptcy. What I would say on this account is that the account status is not reporting correctly. The balance is not being reported correctly, and leave it at that. Because a lot of times you're trying to remove a bankruptcy off your credit report, so I wouldn't try to mention that. So inaccurate personal information. The personal information on this account is inaccurate, and that could be like your name, social security number. You can actually list what's inaccurate. Old debts behind the statute of limitations. These accounts are being re-aged. The last is beyond the statute of limitations. For re-aged debts, you can just clearly say this account is being re-aged. If the account is mixed or merged with somebody else's information on your credit report, I would suggest you reach out to an attorney right away and let them handle that. Because that could be a big thing for you and them in terms of money. So I'm not even going to tell y'all what to say about that. I really tell y'all to reach out to an attorney. Reach out to me. I know a few attorneys that would love that. So incorrect payment terms. The payment terms on this account is incorrect. Incorrect original creditor name. The original creditor name is incorrect. Duplicate inquiry. This inquiry is listed on my credit reports more than once. It's a duplicate inquiry. Fraudulent account. This account is not mine. As simple as that. The account is not mine. Incorrect mortgage information, like the missing details, like the mortgage balances or payments. Then you can just say the mortgage the balance on this account is incorrect. The payment history on this account is incorrect. Misreported student loans, maybe the wrong loan type or balance or payment status. You can say the information on the student loan is incorrect. The balance is not correct. The loan type is not correct. The payment status is not correct. Incorrect settlement terms. You can say the settlement terms on this account is incorrect. Okay, y'all, we at our 45 minutes. I'm going to turn this thing off because that's why I came. I'm like, trying to hurry up and rush to get through all of them. Closed accounts marked as active. This account should be reported as closed. Incorrect account type. The account type is incorrect. Incorrect account number. The account number is incorrect. Just one little sentence like that. Incorrect last date activity. Last date activity on this account is incorrect. I hope that helped you guys. Let's get them disputes done tomorrow, okay? So we can mail them out.